you. Let's get a view from the trading floor. And Louise Cooper, of course, market analyst at BGC Capital Partners, and joins us from central London. It looks pretty awful. Louise, really, whatever happened, whatever the politicians said, those policymakers said at the weekend, not reassuring investors.
Well, the original leaks coming out look pretty positive, actually. You know, a recapitalisation of European banks, a Greece, default, writing down half their debt, acknowledgement they can't pay back the debt, and then on top of that, a big boost to the EFSF. Now, that looks a pretty good plan to me. Unfortunately, there seems to be a lack of political consensus behind that plan, and we've already had comments from the Greek finance minister suggesting no to default. You've had the French budget minister saying today no recapitalisation of the banks. So, the original plan looked good, but I'm afraid it's the political arguing behind it all that is slowly leaking out.
And it was ever thus, Louise, wasn't it? Because that's what we've had, and that's been the constant refrain from the markets to those politicians, at least sing from the same hymn sheet.
I tell you, it reminded me of in the middle of the TARP programme, where allegedly Hank Paulson, the sort of master of the universe at Goldman Sachs, got on his knees to Nancy Pelosi and said, "Nancy, we really need this programme to go through." And I think maybe we need that. Maybe we need to see, I don't know, some master of the universe get on his knees in front of Angela Merkel and say, "Look, it's desperate out here. Please do something." I don't know, Erin. What do you think?
Well, maybe you should start a campaign, Louise. You're very good at that sort of thing. Now, of course, banks have been the biggest victims in all of this. Are you confident from what you've been hearing that recapitalisation of the banks is obviously what's really needed at the moment, but whether there is not only the political will, but actually the money to do this is another question?
Well, I mean, exactly. The numbers involved are just mind-blowing. I mean, what does 2-3 trillion euro look like? And, if you compare that to the population of the whole Eurozone, how big a figure is that? And I think we're sort of getting to the stage when the numbers the numbers we talk about to solve this Eurozone crisis are almost meaningless. They're terrifyingly large. And it also reminds me, I guess, of that moment in time where the Irish government backed its banks and basically said, we will prevent all these banks going bust, all these Irish banks going bust. And that one decision effectively has caused almost the country to go bust. And I think maybe some of these Eurozone leaders fear that kind of thing. They don't know how much it's going to cost to bail out the Eurozone, and maybe they feel doing the same as the Irish government at the time. They fear they don't know quite how much it is going to cost.
Sure. Louise Cooper, always a pleasure. Happy Monday to you. Thanks very much. It's going to be one of those days, I think.